It wasn't that long ago when making a top 10 list of electric cars didn't take too much time, because there weren't many more than 10 on sale. But how times have changed. In the last few years, there has been a huge onslaught of new electric vehicles of all shapes, sizes and budgets from many different manufacturers. We've seen incredible hot hatches, dinky city cars, luxurious SUVs and everything in between, even some quadricycles. And so, thankfully, picking a top 10 today is a very difficult job and leaves us with a selection of incredibly recommendable EVs, all with a long list of impressive and varied talents. In this video, we've looked at every electric car on sale in every class, and we pulled them all together into one list. And we're also naming the EVs to avoid. But first, what about the new models coming in the future which could shake up this order? Well, there's a couple of 4s that are worth looking out for. The Renault 4 is another retro electric rebirth from the French manufacturer, and given how exceptional the Renault 5 has proved to be, this small SUV spin on that winning formula could be another enormous hit. And then there's the Kia EV4, a new electric hatchback which again is hotly anticipated given Kia's electric expertise, as shown in a string of phenomenal EVs. And lots of eyes will be on BMW, with the German manufacturer set to release a number of new fully electric models, all following a new design language. The first of which will be the iX3. Given the original model impressed us very much, hopes are high for the replacement. But while there are lots to come and lots around now, not every electric car is recommendable. Now, it is likely that you have not heard of the Skywell BE11, and to be honest, you might want to keep it that way. On the face of it, a big electric SUV with a decent range and a long warranty doesn't sound too bad. But this Chinese electric car is terrible to drive, has an awful infotainment system and lacks lots of modern safety equipment that you would expect as standard on any new car. When there are so many other options around, this is one that's best avoided. The Lexus UX 300e featured in this list last year. Since then though, it's had a big price reduction and it still offers great build quality inside, but that is it for the positives. Unfortunately for the Japanese manufacturer, this is one of the least recommendable electric cars around, with cramped rear seats, a tiny boot and a terrible electric range. You'll be lucky to get 170 miles in cold conditions. And even with the slashing of the price, you can spend more than £50,000 on the UX. And for that money, any other electric choice makes more sense. On that note, let's get to the top 10 best EVs that you can buy right now. Kicking off the list, the BMW iX is a big electric SUV with a controversial design, but a long list of talents. It's just had a facelift, and while it doesn't look too different on the outside, the changes underneath are pretty significant. It's received substantial power upgrades and an increase in efficiency, and just like before, this is a spacious, comfortable and truly luxurious EV. It certainly is on the pricey side though. Next up, the Hyundai Insta. If you have a family of 7 and your commute is London to Edinburgh, then clearly look elsewhere. But if your primary need for an electric car is to use it as an urban runaround, then this is an absolutely brilliant new option from the Korean manufacturer. It has a small footprint, but still with large windows and a raised seating position, so visibility all round is brilliant, which is great in town. It also has a comfy ride, well-weighted steering and offers fantastic value for money in the electric car world. 5 years on from its launch, the Porsche Taycan remains the dominant force in the electric performance car world. In the past year, it was treated to a midlife upgrade that brought bigger, more efficient batteries, boosting its range significantly. If you add the Performance Battery Plus, as we would recommend you do, then the official range of this car is a staggering 422 miles. Air suspension is now standard across the lineup, so handling and comfort are better than ever. It glides like a limo, yet still carves through corners with more precision and finesse than any of its electric rivals. There are a few different versions, but the entry-level rear-wheel drive car is so good that there's little reason to go for a pricier version, as long as you have a bigger battery. And don't forget, the Audi e-tron GT is very closely related to this Porsche, with the Audi being a bit softer and not quite so special inside, but it's still well worth considering. Next, if your idea of luxury is to be able to forget you're in a car at all, then a chauffeur-driven BMW i7 should be right up your street. In the rear seats, you can very easily ignore the outside world, especially if you've added the £11,000 executive pack, which brings a 31.3-inch theatre screen. If you're looking for the ultimate in electric luxury, there's nothing better to be driven in. It's not just incredible to sit in either, it's brilliant to drive as well, offering a massive range, impressive handling for such a huge car, and punchy performance. While it is fantastic, it is rather expensive. In fact, the i7 costs more than anything else in this list. The Renault Scenic was historically a rather unfashionable MPV shaped a bit like a van. But this latest fully electric SUV version is bang on trend. It offers great space and practicality with a nicely finished and well thought out interior, and it's great value too. A very big selling point for the Scenic is the distance it can travel on a full charge. There's a comfort range version of the car, but we'd go for the long range model because it gives the Scenic an enormous 87 kilowatt-hour battery and an official range of 379 miles. Of course, as with all electric cars, covering that number of miles in real-world driving conditions is impossible. But we drove the Scenic with a full battery until it died in the real world in warm summery weather, and it managed to cover 322 miles, which is a very impressive result. There are plenty of big and practical cars in this list, but nothing comes close to offering the practicality of the VW ID. Buzz. It has an enormous boot and cavernous rear seat space, and that is just the regular 5-seat model. This year, VW launched the Buzz with a long wheelbase 7-seat version, which is ridiculously spacious even in the third row. And the Buzz has plenty of other strings to its bow. It's a nice electric car to drive with a controlled and cushioned ride, along with nicely weighted and accurate steering. If you like the Skoda Enyaq, then chances are you'll love the new Skoda Elroq. The Enyaq was Skoda's first electric SUV and was a fantastic effort blending comfort, practicality and value. The Elroq is smaller and ultimately not quite as practical, but just as impressive in pretty much all other areas and significantly cheaper. This fantastic all-rounder offers a comfortable ride, a solid interior and plenty of space for passengers and luggage, even if it isn't as big as the massive Enyaq. It also has a helpfully tight turning circle, which is great around town. So far, we've only driven the range-topping 85 edition model. Cheaper versions are available, and they might push the Elroq up even higher in this list. The first ever fully electric car to be named the What Car Car of the Year was a Kia. That was back in 2019 when the e-Niro came out of nowhere to prove that EVs didn't need to cost a fortune to offer a long range and decent performance. Fast forward 5 years and Kia has moved the game on again with another brilliant EV. The EV3 is technically to us a small SUV, rivaling things like the Jeep Avenger and the Volvo EX30. But this is a big, small SUV, meaning that without having an enormous footprint on the road, the EV3 offers plenty of space for a family and their luggage. The squishy suspension means this is very comfortable on long journeys. The interior is nicely finished and practical, and the price makes this a very compelling electric SUV. Even the most expensive versions of the EV3 are very recommendable, offering long ranges and good performance. But we think the cheapest standard range Air model is actually all most people will need. And at £32,995, with Kia's fantastic 7-year warranty of course, it's a fantastic choice. In second place, the Tesla Model 3. This has proved to be a truly groundbreaking electric car, which has been around for a while now, but still feels fresh and impressive thanks to a pretty major revamp it was treated to in 2023. That gave it a longer range, the refinement was improved, the adjustments weren't completely revolutionary, but it made an already fantastic electric car a little bit better. Plus, it is still extremely good value compared to the competition. And having access to the very fast, reliable and reasonably priced Tesla superchargers remains a big positive for the car. But some superchargers are now open to non-Tesla EVs, so this advantage might not be around forever. Still, if you buy a Model 3 and we think the entry-level rear-wheel drive model is the pick of the lineup, it's not just impressive compared to alternative EVs when it comes to things like handling, ride and entertainment. It should prove to be one of the easiest electric cars to live with as well. But the number one best electric car that you can buy right now is the new Renault 5. We've recently seen the revival of a few iconic names in the automotive industry, but few have managed to deliver on the hype and the heritage in the way this new electric hatchback has. And while lots of people might love the styling of the new Renault 5, the great thing is that this car's talents go far beyond the way it looks. It's a small electric car that offers a very usable rear-wheel range. Its supple ride and tidy handling make it a delight to drive, and the well-finished, technologically impressive interior would never have you think that this is one of the cheapest new electric cars that you can buy. Now, of course, a Model 3 can travel much further on a full charge, it's faster, it's bigger, and if it's in your budget, then it's a better pick than all of its rivals. But the Renault 5 offers an incredible blend of EV talents for an unbelievably compelling price, which far undercuts the Model 3. And being able to do all of that at this entry-level price point certainly makes the Renault 5 worth shouting about. In fact, we've named it the What Car Car of the Year for 2025. There are a couple of different versions you can go for, and we reckon the larger comfort range battery combined with mid-level techno trim represents the best value for money. This stylish hatchback is an EV you can buy with your heart and your head. So, those are the EVs to look out for coming soon, the worst ones you can buy right now, and the best ones around. What do you make of our top 10? Which ones have you bought and how are you getting on with them? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. And to see lots more roundups like this, as well as lots of new car reviews and features, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be the first to see all of our releases. And don't forget, head over to whatcar.com to read much more about all the cars on this list and indeed